Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive into Feng Shui. When you say Feng Shui, a lot of people think, oh, lucky bamboo or decluttering. We are going so much deeper today with this source material called Flawless Feng Shui, a home harmony guide.
Interesting you bring up lucky bamboo. Even seemingly simple elements like that in Feng Shui often connect back to these deeper principles.
Okay, so that already has me intrigued. So Feng Shui, for anyone who might not be familiar, is this ancient Chinese art of placement. And it's all about creating spaces that really boost positive energy. They call that energy qi, right?
Yes, qi. So qi is that vital life force energy. It flows through everything. It flows through us. It flows through our homes. And the idea is that by arranging our surroundings intentionally, we can actually influence the flow of that qi. We can
Yeah.
create environments that really support our well-being, our goals, our aspirations.
I love that. So it's not just about aesthetics. You're talking about intention. You're talking about designing our spaces to support what we want in life. That's powerful stuff. And the guide mentions that Feng Shui has roots in Taoist philosophy, which adds another layer of intrigue for me.
It does. Feng Shui is deeply connected to these Taoist principles, particularly the concept of yin and yang, that balance of opposing forces. You can't have one without the other. And Feng Shui is all about finding that balance, that harmonious balance in our spaces and our environments.
So can you give me like a concrete example of how yin and yang play out in a practical sense when you're, thinking about designing a space?
Sure. Yeah. Imagine your living room, for example. You wouldn't want it to be all yin, right? So super dark, quiet, still, because that can create kind of a stagnant energy. But you also wouldn't want it to be all yang, like super bright, loud, chaotic, because that would just be too overwhelming. So it's about finding that sweet spot. It's about finding that balance where both of those energies are present and they actually work together. They complement each other.
I see. So you're kind of creating a space that can be both energizing and calming, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like that feeling when you walk into a nice spa.
Exactly, exactly. It's about finding that balance that feels good, that feels supportive, that feels aligned with you.
Love it. Now, I know we also need to talk about these five elements. I've always wanted to understand this better. Wood, fire, earth, metal, water. It sounds kind of mystical, right?
It does, but it actually is quite practical once you get into it. The five elements, they represent different types of energy,
Yeah.
right, that exist in the natural world and within ourselves. And just like that yin and yang feng shui is about finding a balance and harmony among these elements within our spaces.
Okay. So how do we actually bring those elements into our homes? Like, do we need to get like a fireplace for fire and like a fountain for water?
Not necessarily, no. You can represent the elements through color, shapes, materials, even imagery. So, for example, the wood element. Wood is associated with, growth, vitality, and you can bring that in through plants, wooden furniture, even just colors like green and blue.
Okay, got it. So fire, I'm guessing that means we need to have lots of bright colors and bold patterns.
Yeah, you got it. Fire is passion, right? It's energy, it's transformation. So think those warm colors,
Mhm.
reds, oranges, candles, fireplaces if you have them, even artwork that evokes warmth, vibrancy.
Okay, that makes sense. What about earth? I'm picturing lots of like earthy tones, natural textures.
Exactly, exactly. Earth is grounding, stability, nourishment. So yeah, think those earthy colors, browns, yellows, tans. Natural materials, stone, clay, square and rectangular shapes, even images of landscapes, mountains.
I feel more grounded already just thinking about it. All right, metal. That one's a little harder for me to kind of picture in a home. What does that look like?
Well, metal is associated with clarity, precision, efficiency. So think metal accents, round shapes, white, gray colors, even mirrors. Mirrors are big in Feng Shui because they amplify energy and reflect light.
Oh, mirrors. Okay, that's interesting. I never thought about that. So it's not just about what you add, it's how you use things to like manipulate energy in a space.
It is, yeah.
Fascinating. Okay, and last but not least, water. What's the deal with water?
Water represents abundance, flow, calmness. You can bring it in through actual water features, fountains, aquariums, the colors blue, black, wavy patterns, images of oceans, waterfalls, things like that.
It's so interesting how each element has this like personality, a vibe. They're like characters in our home decor story. Now, the guide also talks about this Bagua map, which sounds like a super helpful tool. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, the Bagua map, think of it as like a Feng Shui blueprint, and it divides any space, let's say your home, into 9 areas, and each area corresponds to a different aspect of your life. So wealth, career, relationships, health, and so on.
Wait, are you saying if I want to boost my career, I should focus on a specific part of my house?
You can. You can use the Bagua map to identify, like, okay, this area is associated with career. And then you intentionally enhance that space with, the elements, the colors that support your goals. So, for example, maybe in the career area, you would bring in the water element because water is
Hmm.
associated with abundance, with flow, with opportunities.
Wow, it's getting very strategic, very personalized here. Love it. But before we get too far ahead, I know the guide also really emphasizes decluttering. So I'm guessing that's like a crucial first step.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Decluttering is huge, huge
Okay.
in Feng Shui. And it makes sense, right? It's about clearing out stagnant energy, creating space for the positive energy to flow freely, kind of like creating a clean slate for your
I
intentions.
see, I see. So it's not just tidying up, it's about, creating this more harmonious energy flow.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. What if you live in like a small apartment?
Right.
Can you still really, use feng shui principles? What if you can't change walls and furniture?
Absolutely. You can. Even small adjustments can make a difference. Being mindful of what you bring into your space, how you arrange it, using things like color, lighting, artwork, plants. You can create balance and harmony even if you don't have a lot of space.
Okay, so even if you're living in a tiny studio, you can benefit from feng shui. That's good news. Now, I'm already getting excited to apply some of this in my own home, but I know this guide goes even deeper, talking about room-specific strategies.
It does. Each room has its own energy, it has its own purpose, and there are certain principles you can apply to enhance those. We can definitely delve into those strategies.
Yes, let's do it. I can't wait to hear how we can feng shui our way to a more harmonious, fulfilling life. Okay, so I'm ready to dive into some room-specific feng shui strategies. Let's start with the living room. It's usually the heart of a home, right?
It is, yeah. It's where we gather, friends, family, relax, entertain.
So what are some of the key things that we should be keeping in mind when we're thinking about feng shui in our living rooms?
Well, one of the most important things is to create a sense of flow, a sense of balance. Remember, the chi, that vital life force energy it needs to be able to move freely throughout the space.
Okay, so no furniture traffic jams.
Exactly, exactly. Avoid blocking the pathways with like bulky furniture. The guide even mentions arranging furniture in a way that really kind of encourages conversation, connection. You want to create that welcoming, harmonious atmosphere.
Yeah, so I'm picturing like cozy seating area around a coffee table, maybe a few accent chairs pulled in to create a little bit more of an intimate vibe.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And speaking of visual elements, the guide also emphasizes natural light.
Oh yeah, natural light always makes a space feel so much more inviting. How can we maximize that in a living room?
Well, open those curtains, open the blinds, let that sunlight in. If you're working with a space that maybe doesn't have a lot of natural light, you can use mirrors, right?
Mhm.
Mirrors strategically placed can really reflect light and make the space feel brighter.
Those mirrors, they're multitaskers. They're reflecting light, amplifying chi.
Okay, I'm with you. What about color choices in a living room? Are there certain colors that are better than others in terms of creating, that harmonious feng shui feel?
The guide does mention that lighter colors, airier colors, blues, greens, even pastels, they can promote a sense of calm and relaxation. And then warmer colors like your earth tones, browns, yellows, oranges, they can be more grounding. So if you're going for serene, stick with those cool colors. If you're going for cozy and inviting, maybe lean into the warmer tones.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great way to think about it. And, the best color is always what resonates with you, right?
Right, of course. Make it your own. Okay, let's talk about the kitchen. Another high traffic area in any home. Any feng shui secrets for the kitchen?
The kitchen is really important in feng shui. It's associated with nourishment, with abundance.
Well, it is where we fuel our bodies, literally.
Exactly, exactly. The guide emphasizes keeping the kitchen clean and organized because it promotes clarity, well-being.
I'm starting to sense a theme here. Decluttering is key.
It really is. And in the kitchen, it's especially important. Clutter can block the flow of that chi and it can create this feeling of chaos, of overwhelm,
Yeah.
and nobody wants that in their kitchen.
No, no, for sure not. Okay, so besides decluttering, what else can we do to kind of enhance the feng shui of our kitchens?
Well, the guide specifically suggests incorporating the elements of wood and water because those represent growth, prosperity things that are really relevant to the kitchen.
Oh, interesting. So maybe a little plant on the windowsill, a small water feature on the counter?
I love it. I love it. Plants bring in that vitality, and the sound of running water can be so calming, peaceful.
Okay, I'm into it. I'm into it. Let's move on to the bedroom. We spend a significant amount of time in our bedrooms. What does Feng Shui have to say about creating a harmonious bedroom?
The bedroom, it's like our sanctuary, our place of rest. The guide really emphasizes the importance of creating a peaceful, calming atmosphere. It's about good sleep, right? And overall well-being.
So maybe not bright colors or busy patterns.
Right, yeah, those softer muted colors, blues, greens, lavenders, those are generally recommended, because they just create that sense of tranquility.
Makes sense. Furniture placement? Any Feng Shui guidelines for that?
The guide suggests positioning the bed so it's not directly in line with the door. They call this the commanding position. You can see who is entering the room. It gives you a sense of security, of control.
So it's not just about how it looks, it's about how you feel in the space.
Right, it's both.
Interesting. Are there any other furniture placement tips for the bedroom?
Well, the guide mentions that you should try to avoid having the foot of your bed facing a window because it can disrupt sleep. And if you have a mirror in your bedroom, make sure it's not reflecting the bed because, it can amplify energy, make it harder to relax.
I'm seeing how like every little detail matters.
It does, it does.
Okay, what about lighting in the bedroom? I'm guessing harsh overhead lighting is a no-no.
Yeah, the guide recommends soft, diffused lighting, maybe lamps with those warm-toned bulbs.
Creating that cozy, sleep-inducing ambiance.
Exactly.
Now, what about the bathroom? I never really thought about applying Feng Shui to the bathroom.
The bathroom is often associated with the water element. It represents flow, purification. So it's really important in Feng Shui to keep it clean and clutter-free, to allow for that healthy flow of energy.
Okay, so those overflowing toiletry baskets might need a little attention.
Maybe a little decluttering. And in terms of harmony, the guide suggests using colors and materials that really evoke that sense of calm, serenity.
Okay, I'm picturing like soft blues, greens, maybe some natural stone accents.
Yeah, I love it. And if you have space, you can even incorporate a small plant or a little water feature.
Even the bathroom can be this little like oasis of tranquility.
Exactly.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, but I know this guide also talks about specific decor items that can enhance the feng shui of a home.
It does. It does. We can definitely talk about those.
Perfect. Let's do it. I am ready to unleash my inner feng shui decorator. Okay, we're back, and I'm ready to talk decor. I'm looking through Flawless Feng Shui, a home harmony guide, and it's got so many tips about using art, mirrors, plants, even sounds. It's a lot. Where do we even start?
Well, let's start with art. I think art is such a powerful way to personalize a space, and infuse it with your intentions. And the guide really emphasizes choosing pieces that resonate with you, with your aspirations, that evoke positive emotions.
So let's say I'm looking to attract abundance. Does that mean I need to get a painting of like a lush landscape or something, or like a symbol of prosperity?
Yeah, that's a great example. The images we surround ourselves with, they can really have this subtle but powerful impact on our energy, on our mindset.
So it's like creating a visual affirmation.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, let's talk about mirrors. We talked about them reflecting light, amplifying qi, but are there any like specific guidelines for using mirrors in Feng Shui?
Yeah, mirrors, they can be really effective tools, but you have to place them thoughtfully. The guide actually cautions against putting mirrors directly across from doors or windows because that can actually push energy out of the space.
Okay, so no mirror staring contest with the front door. What about the size and shape of mirrors? Does that matter?
The guide does suggest using mirrors that are proportionate to the size of the room, and you want to avoid sharp, angular shapes. Round or oval mirrors are usually preferred because they create more of that sense of flow, harmony.
Okay. Yeah, it's all about that smooth, balanced energy. Okay, plants. I know plants are huge in Feng Shui. Why is that?
Well, they bring in that vital energy of the wood element, and wood represents growth, vitality, abundance. They also purify the air. They just, bring a sense of nature indoors.
So besides looking pretty, they're really pulling double duty in terms of energy. Are there certain types of plants that are like better than others for Feng Shui?
Yeah, the guide mentions that plants with rounded leaves, soft edges, are generally preferred because they promote calm tranquility.
So I'm sensing a theme here. Rounded edges good, sharp edges bad. What about using sound to enhance Feng Shui? I've heard about wind chimes.
Yeah, wind chimes are great for breaking up stagnant energy. They create that sense of movement, of flow. And the guide suggests placing them in areas where energy might get stuck, like hallways, corners, those kinds of places.
Oh, okay. So it's like giving the she a little nudge.
Yeah.
What about other types of sounds? Can you use music? or nature sounds.
Yeah, absolutely. The guide mentions using soft, calming music or nature sounds like, running water, birdsong, things that create that peaceful atmosphere.
Like a sonic landscape. Very cool. This guide focuses on homes, but we talked earlier about applying these principles in other areas. I'm really curious about Feng Shui in the workspace.
Yeah, you can definitely use it. Those same principles of balance, flow, intention, applying them to your workspace to really create an environment that supports your focus, your productivity, your success.
Okay, so how would you even, like, begin to Feng Shui your desk, for example?
Well, think about the boggle map. You can actually lay it over your desk, right? Use the center as your health and well-being area. The back left corner, wealth and prosperity. The front middle, career, and so on.
So basically, I need to, like, declutter my entire desk and then put a plant in one corner, a crystal in another, and a lucky bamboo arrangement somewhere else.
Well, yeah, decluttering is a great start. And then you can use things, symbolic items to represent those elements. So, yeah, maybe a plant in the wealth corner, a red notepad in the fame and recognition area, maybe a crystal for creativity.
Oh my gosh, I love this. It's like making a little Feng Shui power grid for your desk.
Exactly. And don't forget, the practical stuff, too,
Hmm.
Make sure your chair is comfortable, the lighting is good.
Right, right. Of course, comfort matters.
Mm.
It all has to work together. What about, like, our digital lives? Can we Feng Shui our computers, our phones?
Of course, think of your computer desktop, like your virtual home. Keep it organized, use colors, images that inspire you. Make sure things flow in a way that makes sense.
So basically, I need to Marie Kondo my entire digital life.
You got it. It's about being mindful of the energy you're surrounding yourself with, even digitally.
This whole deep dive has really opened my eyes. I didn't realize how much power we have to shape our environments, to create spaces that really support us. And it's not about following a bunch of rigid rules. It's more about, like, mindful intention.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's a journey, not a destination.
So true. Well, a huge thank you to all of our listeners for joining us on this Feng Shui journey. I hope you got some good tips and you're feeling inspired to create some harmony in your own lives. Until next time, happy Feng Shuiing, everyone.